G'day everyone and welcome back to Derriere Farms with me, Farmer Jay. Today Giants released patch, or should I call it hotfix, 1.7.1, which fixes a couple of issues that arose during patch 1.7. So we're going to go over the changelog, what they've actually changed in the patch. We'll go over the stuttering issue that you may notice is being created by this new patch and how to fix it quickly. And then finally, we're going to talk about the free content update number 5, or the Valtra series tractor pack, as I call it. Now, this is actually pretty cool. I had a quick look at it, and it's a lot more detailed than I initially thought it was going to be based on the fact sheets that were released for the tractors. They are very customizable, and we're going to go over that after we go over the patch notes. So first and foremost, patch 1.7.1 improves the quality with Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2, which should make AMD users very happy. However, since this is affects the graphics, it's also going to cause a stuttering issue as the shader cache needs to be reset. Now, the easiest way to fix the stuttering issue is to drive around your map. I recommend getting something nice and speedy, like the Lizard Road Rage or the TLX 2020, something that does a good 70 miles an hour or whatever. And you just basically get in and you drive around your map as quickly as possible. This resets the shader cache. The reason I recommend a high-speed vehicle is you get around your map pretty quickly versus a tractor doing 30 miles an hour. So this is au Laurent. I would do a nice loop around there, up there, back up, and around the rest of your map as quickly as you can, and it is going to reset the shaders as it goes. The reason I recommend you do this pretty much as soon as you load into one of the maps you've been playing is because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to work a field or change views in your tractor or do something like that and then have the game freeze for a second or two while it updates the shader cache. So that would be the first thing I do. Alright, for those of you on the PlayStation 4, you'll be happy that the Logitech wheels should be working again, which was the primary reason for this patch. A couple of minor fixes. It fixes the visuals for the Class Lexion 5000, the Axion 800, the Class 4900 Business Windrower, as well visual fixes for the Verve 8 Hydro Trike, there's something hard to say. Fixes visual for the MAN TGS and TGS trucks, and then it's fixed the schema for MAN TGX 26.640, which is a logging truck. I think they mean to say the schematic. A schema is something different. It's a psychological term. So I think that something got lost in translation there. It also updated the Valtra brand logo in the store. Nothing major there. And updated the lights on the Valtra G series, which we already had. So those are pretty much the change logs. Okay then, this brings us to the star of the show, the 4 new Valtra Tractors. Like I said, they're actually very detailed, they look really good, and they actually have different sounds. So the smaller one has a small tractor sounding engine. We'll just turn it on. Plus it's got a pretty nice interior cab. And I'm going to show you there's more to some of these cabs than you think there is. So let's hop out of this one, and then we're going to hop into the big one, just so you can hear the difference between the small tractor sound and the big tractor sounds. And I should have left myself a little bit more room when I parked these. As you can see, nice interior cab. This one's slightly different. We'll go outside and we'll turn on the engine. Now, we'll go over which of these tractors have reverse steering and which ones don't in a second. But to activate your reverse steering, if you are not familiar with the Valtra, I believe it is left shift B. Okay, I thought it was left shift Y, but it's left shift B. And now you can drive your tractor in reverse, just like you would going forward. Everything functions the same way. Great for certain types of field work or forestry work, especially if you're mulching. And to go back again, left shift B again, and away you go. I'm glad they didn't just throw these together and use the same tractor sounds. Okay, let's start off with the Valtra A series. Base configuration is 105 horsepower, manual plus power shift, 175 liters of fuel, 13 liters of DEF, 24 miles per hour, 4.8 tons. We already covered that. It'll take either a front weight or a 3-point attacher, which is nice. You've got your standard range of tires. You can add weights. You can go with narrow wheels, wide tires with weights, and so on. Twin wheels, standard. This one does come, as does the next one up, comes with a front loader attacher, Hauer and Quickie. The engine setup. Not sure what the difference between the A105 High-Tech and the High-Tech 4 is. Then it goes up to 115 horsepower, 125 horsepower, 135 horsepower, and back to 105 horsepower. They are precision farming ready, so you can put an Azaria Pro Compact on there. And they have a whole variety of colors, just like any of the other Valtra tractors. And you can change your rim colors accordingly. So that is the A series. We're not going to go over the base specs of all of the tractors because we covered those in the fact sheets. We'll just go through again the key features. This one again, 3-point or front weight, and the front weight can be reduced as required. Might as well go all the way back. Standard wheel range, wheel setup. This is where it gets a little bit different. You can actually change your roof setup now. So you've got a sky view, and the sky view, we'll go into that in a second. So you've either got your sunroof at the front or at the back with the sky view. Sky view at the back is obviously used if you're going to be doing reverse driving. And that's an option that'll cost you an extra $15,000. Door setup, panorama view window, which is basically just, we'll twist around there. It's a panoramic door that you can't actually get in and out of, like most new tractors have, or you can actually have it as a second door. Now, obviously that stand is going to get in the way. as you try and exit the vehicle, but you can change. This one doesn't actually change. Engine setup. 145 horsepower. This is what I meant where it gets interesting. You can change it to the N135 Direct, which is a variable CVT transmission as a manual power shift. 165 horsepower with the active, which is back to manual power shift. You can go to the variable CVT transmission again, and this one will go all the way up to 145 horsepower. Sorry, 165 horsepower. Again, precision farming ready and fully color customizable. T-Series, essentially the same 3-point mounting options or weights on the front. All the wheel brands are available. Again, standard. Roof setup. You can also change this one between Skyview and standard. You can have reverse driving on it if you want to. Door setup, panorama or second door. Interior design. You can have design 1, design 2, which really just changes your colors. The fuel tank, you can either change between plastic or metal. This one also has a front tatcher available, and this one will go all the way up to 271 horsepower with a manual power shift transmission, 250 horsepower with a variable CVT transmission, 230, again, you can choose between the variable CVT or the manual power shift. So I really like that fact that they've given you the option of choosing manual power shift or CVT transmissions. I prefer, myself personally, the CVT transmission. It's what I was well, I was going to say it was what I was used to when we still had the farm. However, obviously some of our older tractors were older and they actually had the physical gear shift that you had to switch. So I'm used to both, but I did end up preferring the CVT. And last in the lineup, we have the Q Series. 900 kilogram front weight, just like the rest of the series. Standard range of wheels. And wheel setups. Roof setup is the same as the rest. You can either have the sunroof, or sorry, the sky view as opposed to the sunroof. I keep calling it a sunroof. Reverse direction driving, yes or no. Panorama window. Stowage setup. This is purely, and there it is. I'm trying to find a good angle on it. This is your stowage setup. You can either have small or big, depending on what you want to put in there. Obviously, this is just representative in the game. Interior design. Design 1 or design 2. And now the engine setup. Basic is 230 horsepower, 245, 265, 285, 305, and back to 225. Precision farming ready, just like the rest of them, and the colors are fully customizable if you want all your Valtras to look the same. Now, all the engine setups on this one are variable CVT transmissions. And we're going to go back to the T-Series because this is what I wanted to show you about the control stand. Remember I said when the control stand, when you change engine configurations, and it goes between manual and power shift versus CVT, you'll see the control stand actually changes. So it's not just a well, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's an actual change to the control stand as opposed to just being something that was implemented in the line of code. So that was what I was talking about when I was surprised at the amount of detail that Giants have put into these Valtra tractors. Personally, I never drove a Valtra until Farm Sim came along, and these new line of tractors look kind of impressive. I would have paid for these as part of a DLC if it came with a little bit of equipment to go along with it, but they are definitely very detailed, and I think it's great that Giants gave these tractors to us as part of the free content update. In terms of getting them in game, they will be there automatically because they're a free content update that came with a patch, so you don't need to download them or install them. All you need to do is install a patch. All right, that's it for free content update number 5 and patch 1.7.1. Let me know what you think in the comments as usual. If you like the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe because I do make new videos on a regular basis whenever there is something new or interesting to talk about in Farming Simulator. Have a great day. Take care, Jay.